Hello there dear YouTubers, my name is King1993 and today I'll be talking about another video guide regarding of which type of Valkyrie to use and how to use them, and do understand that this is a beginner's guide only. I do not have enough money to actually buy all of the weapon and the Stigma Set to do a better evaluation, which is why no meta guide will be given out from me, okay? And before starting this video, there is another thing I would like you guys to know, and that is I have a website, and this website is basically for people who want to know how to play the game. So basically what I did is I have uploaded all of the other videos to my website so that you guys will be able to know at least what type of weapon or the Stigma Set or even elf that you must need to use in order to make all of these character as strong as possible. Okay, and the link of this website will be in the description, so you can go into the description and from there you can come to this website to get more knowledge about this. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with the topic. So today's character will be called Mobius. Okay, so there is currently only one Mobius available in the game, and this Mobius battlesuit is called Infinite Uroboros. Now not only she is only one of the Mobius character, rather she is one of the strongest lightning damage dealer in the game. As you can see here, she is a lightning damage dealer, and in case if you're wondering is she a support or is she a DPS only, she is a DPS only character. So obviously you can use her as a main DPS character in the lightning damage dealing category. Okay, and another thing is, I do not know why, but right after she was released, okay, it seems like this Mobius character have piqued my interest than any of the other Valkyrie characters in the game. Like, even though this character is extremely new character in the game, still after being a new character in the game, I still like her a lot more than any of the other characters. I do not know, maybe my personal preferences. Now let's talk about the weapon categories. First of all, go to this list and then click on this weapon, and once you have done that, go as low as possible. Now here is the thing, this Basilic's image, Death Shout, this is basically her recommended or her signature weapon. So basically speaking, if you have this weapon, obviously she is gonna be able to do the top amount of damage this weapon can provide. Okay, so this is the 6-star weapon and this is the 5-star version of this weapon. Okay, now in case if you're wondering, okay, can I give Mobius something else? Okay, the only other options which is available is this Oath of Judah. Okay, now this Oath of Judah is basically a 5-star weapon, but despite it being a 5-star weapon, it is still better than this Salvation of Sakura. Now in case if you're wondering why is that, because this basically does fire damage dealing, but this fire damage dealing can be activated either using the Sakura, okay, not Sakura actually, either by using Sakuno Rondo, okay, by this character, or it can be given to co-op to gain this extra damage percentage. Otherwise this weapon is just an elemental weapon, so obviously this weapon is not that much of a good options. But when you consider this Oath of Judah, this Oath of Judah is a lightning damage dealing weapon, and since Mobius is also a lightning damage dealer, this one is a very good option. Now in case if you are wondering, okay, are there anything that is 5-star but grindable, because both of those weapons that I just showed you are basically not grindable. Well, then go to this equipment section and go to this weapon and then click on Forge and then click on this Impaler. Okay, so this weapon category is called Impaler. Now as you go down, you will see that there are few options available. Okay, this Cross Ranger, Silver Reaper and Selen's Elegy. Now Selen's Elegy is more of an ice damage dealer, so definitely a no-no. This one is a physical damage dealing and this one is a fire damage dealing. Now in case if you're wondering, okay, so if all of these are any other damage dealing except lightning, then what can I do? Can I use this Lightning Angel? Well, you can use Lightning Angel, but it is not worth it. I suggest that you stick with any of these 3 at the beginning part of your game. Now as you go on to the higher stage, you will eventually have a lot of crystals and you will eventually have to pull on this weapon, okay. But other than that, if you are in the mid part of the game where you just need to get a 6-star weapon, then I highly suggest that you go for this spirit weapon. Now do remember, basic weapon are the beginner's weapon, bounty weapon are better than basic, and the pre-arm are actually the strongest weapon, okay. Now in case if you're wondering, then what is the spirit weapon? Spirit weapon will definitely turn into a bounty weapon, so there is no problem with that. So if you just want to have a 6-star weapon, I suggest that you go for this Place of Sakura, and then turn this Place of Sakura into Salvation of Sakura. Now do remember, just because this weapon is a 6-star weapon doesn't mean it is the best. Rather, it is a better option because it is a 6-star weapon, and this 6-star weapon will be able to provide a lot more damage dealing when compared with any of the other weapons. So if you do not have Mobius signature weapon, I suggest that you stick with this Salvation of Sakura instead. Okay, now let's talk about the signature Stigmata set. Okay, now the signature Stigmata set for Infinite Ouroboros is this Linnaeus. I do not know how to pronounce it, but Linnaeus is basically her signature set, and basically speaking, Mobius can actually get the strongest amount of damage output or the highest amount of damage output using this set. Now in case if you're wondering, okay, since this set is not easy to get because it requires crystals, what are the alternative? For the alternative, I suggest that you go to this equipment section, click on this Stigmata, click on Forge. Once you have done that, click on this lightning type. Okay, now all of the lightning type will show up. Now another thing you must need to understand, that basic Stigmata set are basically Stigmata set which you can get at the beginning part of your game. Now G1 is actually a sacrificial set for G2, G2 is a sacrificial set for G3, and G3 is a sacrificial set for G4. Now also remember that G3 is basically stronger than G2, okay. So in that regard, if you are planning on getting any of the Stigmata set, get it in such a way that each set is gonna be a sacrificial set for the other, okay. For example, let's start with the basic one. Now for the basic Stigmata set, instead of going for this 4-star Stigmata set, I suggest that you start with this Darwin, because Darwin is basically a multi-purpose Stigmata set. Its action, its skill can be activated very easily, okay, which is why Darwin 3 set is a very good option. Now the second one, when you are trying to get a G1, do understand that G1 will be a sacrificial set for G2. So in that regards, try to get this Nagamitsu set, all of them, and once you have all of the Nagamitsu set, then you can change, or you can sacrifice the Nagamitsu set for the Monet set, and then you can sacrifice the Monet set for the Ishikawa Goemon set. Now here's the thing, in case if you are planning on taking a shortcut, I suggest that you start with this Monet set, and then you will be able to use this Monet as a sacrificial set for Ishikawa Goemon. Now here is the thing, one of the Ishikawa Goemon, especially the Ishikawa Goemon B, has this damage multiplier, but this damage multiplier can only be achieved when using ultimate evasion. So obviously this is not a very good option. So if you want to get the maximum amount of damage dealing, then I suggest that you start, okay, let me show you. So you start with Monet TMB, okay, and then once you have all of the Monet TMB, sacrifice only T and M for this Ishikawa Goemon T and M, okay, but do not get this Ishikawa Goemon B. Instead of going for Ishikawa Goemon B, stay with this Monet B, because this Monet B, just by hitting on the enemy, will be able to provide a lot more damage dealing, because this one doesn't require ultimate evasion, rather it requires combo or charge attack, which is why Ishikawa Goemon TM and this Monet B is a very good option for Mobius. Now let's talk about the elf, okay, which elf are basically the best for Mobius. So let's go to the elf and let me show you the options. So there is option number 1, this is option number 2, and there is option number 3. Now here is the thing, this is a third best option, okay. Why is this one a third best option? Because this one will able to provide you with elemental damage dealing, but it does fire damage dealing, okay. So basically speaking, it will provide you fire damage and some elemental damage as well. So obviously from that category, this one is a third recommended option. What is the second recommended option? The second recommended option is this one, because this one will be able to provide you with lightning support. So basically speaking, lightning support will be will give your Mobius a lot more damage dealing. So from that perspective, this Bella is the second best option. Now, why Kevin is the Klein? Why Klein is the third best option? The reason Klein is the third best option, because not only does it provide lightning support, rather it will also provide some other supports as well, which is why this Klein is a very good option, not only for Mobius, rather for all of the other lightning Valkyrie characters in the game, because it will provide lightning support as well as some other supports as well. So if you want to spend your crystals on any of the lightning elf, then I suggest that you go for Klein. Okay. Okay, so we are now at the final part of the video, where I'm just basically gonna say my conclusion of this character. This character is the first, okay, like the first strongest electric or lightning damage dealer in the game. That is point number one. Point number two is because she is considered as a main DPS character, overall her Stigma set and her weapon set are basically easy to understand. And third is she is as fluid as lightning mage, which is why even though, let's say, Durandal, the strongest Durandal is called Bright Knight Exilis, is the strongest, one of the strongest physical damage dealer in the game. The only problem is she is actually very slow in usage. So obviously from that point of perspective, Mobius is just like Harsher of Sentience, except this one only does lightning damage dealing. Okay, so overall, if you like this video, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. And this is it, and see you again next time.